Hello everyone, we are here at ET Studio powered by ET Auto. We are live from Bharat Mobility Expo, Component Expo, and we have with us Mr. Micah Shepard from Shepard India. Welcome, Mr. Micah.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Micah, you are exhibiting here since long time. What are your views for this particular exhibition, this edition, and what exactly you are showcasing? What's the highlight of your booth?
So thank you very much. Proud to be here and also to have this chance to represent Schaeffler. So Schaeffler this year is embarking on a fundamental change in our company. Just recently we had an acquisition of Vitesco Technology, which brings in a electronic aspect of the business, which Schaeffler historically has been more mechanical.
Right.
So this year what we're showing is some of the, say if I take it into two parts, the ICE business, so where the Vitesco brought in new technologies for example, sensor technology, as an example, like NOx sensors, which measures the particulate matter in commercial vehicle or passenger vehicles. In addition, what we're showcasing now is our going into the next frontier, into the e-mobility, our e-axle technology, which will be coming on the roads here, even in the India market fairly soon.
Right. And Schaeffler is one of the largest bearing and powertrain suppliers and from Germany. When you deal with customers from India or Germany or any other developer, what kind of fundamental difference you observe usually?
Well, every OEM has their own unique characteristics.
Right.
But I would definitely say when it comes to the Indian OEMs, definitely the cost and competitiveness is definitely key, as the market is expecting that. But I would say the India OEMs are also changing and adapting. You see that some of the OEMs are also taking on international M&As.
Right.
So as they bring in also Western technology, the markets from different country to countries are becoming even more similar. So India market, there's a lot of new technology coming into India and it's adapting very, very quickly.
Right.
And definitely India is one of the markets to be in.
Right. And India has become third largest market for automotive and
Yes.
fourth largest in terms of production. When these figures you keep in mind, what kind of opportunity do you see in India today and then 5 years down the line?
I mean, definitely India's market from an automotive perspective is definitely one of the global key markets. If you look at Europe or even in the US, their markets are more or less slowing down.
Right.
Of course, here in Asia Pacific, we see a lot of growth opportunities in East Asia as well as here in India. So opportunities-wise, I mean, from a corporate perspective, we are investing into India for domestic market.
Right.
And consumption. So a lot of localization, products that we have, say, acquire from some of our global manufacturing plants. We're starting to localize more and more production here in India. And the reasons why, I mean, I think we want to be closer to our customers. There's a very good talent pool here in India. And then also from supply-based competitiveness is also here. And then last but not least, there is also from our Schaeffler goal is to be carbon neutral by 2040. You can also find, green materials, solar energy, for example. So I think India's well advanced in some in those areas as well.
Yeah, you spoke about producing more in India to be close to your customers.
Yes.
And there is campaigns like Make in India and Self-Reliant India. Do you see some good impact of that campaigns that's driving the kind of production enhancement in India?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think India's market has been a little bit less dependent on imports, maybe versus some of the other markets. But with the Made in India campaign, and Schaeffler is also supporting that. So I mean, we are expanding our production plants in Pune, for example, as well as in Hosur. And so with the acquisition of Vitesco, I think our broader footprint in India is definitely expanding, and we will capitalize on that.
Right. In first answer, you spoke about electrification of the automotive,
Yes.
right? So electrification, lightweighting are some of the trends that's shaping up the global automotive industry. What are other emerging trends do you observe in the India versus the global automotive industry? Do you see any unique trends shaping up in the Indian market?
Yeah, the entire automotive industry is going through a fundamental transformation.
Right.
And honestly, not everyone knows what direction the markets will go. If you say from technology-wise, of course you have e-mobility, but which part e-mobility? You have full battery electric, you also have hybrid.
Right.
So some OEMs are leaning a little bit more to hybrid versus full battery electric. I still believe there will be a need for the ICE or internal combustion engine. So I think depending on the applications or the use of the end users
Right.
will require different applications in the market.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And in Europe, we saw that the sale of automotive is gone down like last year because of certain situation. Also, Chinese continuously increasing their share and all.
Yes.
How it's changing the overall dynamics of the European automotive industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think Europe last year went through quite challenging year. You can see some of the announcements made by many of the OEMs.
Right.
The Chinese OEMs are also entering the market. So I think, again, if you look at the European OEMs, they traditionally were very strong in the internal combustion engine.
Right.
And that was the legacy of the German industry.
Right.
And as they start to transition also into e-mobility, there's very stiff competition coming in from Asian players.
Right.
But I think these companies, again, I don't want to name one of the companies, but
Yeah.
they're considered also luxury brands. So I think their focus still on quality, luxury would transcend any powertrain situation that will come in the future. So maybe this year was a bump in the road for
Right.
the European OEMs, but I still think long term they will have a place in the market.
When it comes to electric vehicles, what kind of market share electric vehicle can enjoy in Germany by, let's say, 2030 or something? Do you have any rough figure?
Yeah, so there's been some research that we had from a corporate perspective, and also some of the government, German or European legislation is trying to push different values. But we believe probably between 20 and 30% of the market would be electrified. And I think by 2030, those numbers are supposed to increase even more. Now, what we see is that the consumers have sentiment maybe on fully battery electric is maybe softened a bit.
Right.
But I think as the infrastructure in the countries are developed and enhanced, I think that trend will start to rebound again.
Great. Just last question.
Yes.
We also are talking about the hydrogen fuel cell as another alternative of
Yes.
IC and electric vehicle and all. What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, this is the third technology, and
Yeah.
I remember we had some consultants coming in to give us some advice on where the market will head. And either you stay with ICE, you have e-mobility or hydrogen. And I think as a player like Schaeffler, we have to be ready for all technologies.
Right.
So Schaeffler, we are already investing in Europe. We have some joint ventures where we're producing the stacks, fuel cell stacks, and so this technology is being developed. Now, which applications would be used more in passenger vehicles? Maybe it could also be used more in commercial vehicle applications where maybe that has the better utilization of that type of technology. So I think the market is still uncertain where direction it would go, but I think there's many good opportunities from that perspective as well.
Yeah, as long as it's like there is a car, you don't have any issue for that. Yeah.
No,
there's
so-
a mobility, you are moving it in.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Schaeffler's model, we pioneer motion.
Right.
And so we're also a motion technology company. So
Exactly.
whether it's for two-wheelers, passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, and even tractors. Of course, our other, this is more for the transportation sector, but of course also other areas such as railway, aerospace, we're also in those different sectors there as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Shepard. Thank you so much for taking your questions and sharing insights with us. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, thank you.